Hey y'all, happy Saturday. I missed you. It's been a long time. It feels like forever. It's a really beautiful day here. It's like 75 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny, and I just needed to connect and say hi. Instead of staring at my computer screen, I will stare at my computer screen in a more social way. Hi, Matt. Hey, Clores. Hey, Beguile. Hey, Simon. Hello, Frolic. Relevant Discord. Hey, Nick. Hey, Luke. Hello, Combinowaxwins. Did I say that right? Hi, Alex. Oh, thanks, Matt. That's a nice little treat. Hello, Alexandra. You look like something happened. Not sure what you mean. Oh, if any of you saw my post on my Instagram stories, I confused some people. I just want to say I was kind of making a clever little statement about my outfit to a concert I saw last night, and it made people think that I was going to a funeral, and I'm sorry for that. I will be more careful with my words in the future. But you know what I did see? It was a Radiohead string quartet tribute in a church. And it was flameless candles, but it was like all candlelight. And it was really good. I cried a lot. And we weren't allowed to take pictures. And so we weren't allowed to take videos either. But we were allowed to take audio recordings. So I did take some, and I'll play some of it for you through the phone. Oh, no, wait. Actually, I can send this to my computer and play it through the system. It still won't sound amazing because I was like in the back seat or back row, but still. It was really great. Okay. Cambinox. Hi, Joe. You're coloring with your daughter? Hi, Nina. What are you coloring? Coloring's the best. You can color until you're an old lady. You can do it forever. All your life. Hey, Bob. Hey, Recess. Hey, Matt. Hey, Frank. I still don't know how to pronounce your name, Notificuist. But I know I recognize you every time. It just The name of the string quartet? Oh, good question. Let's see. Actually, it was a string quintet. It was a string. Oh, I just threw my phone on the ground. Okay. I threw it on the ground. Anyone know that reference? Yeah, it was. Okay. It was a. Austin Camerata. They're normally a string quartet, but they brought in a double bass, big, which was really vital to do Radiohead, I felt. Okay, so while others are filing in, I'm going to play the some of this for you, okay? I think I started the recording at their second track, which was, no, third. Fake Plastic Trees. Okay, I'm not sure how good this is going to sound, but... This makes me cry. Okay. Join me live while I cry. Okay, so here's what they played. I'll tell you the set list. Maybe I can sprinkle a few other recordings as we go along today. But they played, where is it? So they started with Burn the Witch, and I was crying through that. They played Everything in Its Right Place, which I think was like really hard for them. I mean, they did a great job, but it was like the timing is so weird, and you don't have a conductor, to like keep you all together. So it was really incredible how well they kept that together. But it was, and then Fake Plastic Trees, so gorgeous. And they did Karma Police. That was great. That last part, for a minute, I lost myself, was exquisite. Then they played Weird Fishes, Arpeggi, and they did such a beautiful job of capturing the like feeling of the ocean. They used a lot of pizzicato, and they did it in I heard someone ask them, did you arrange these things? And they said, no, actually, they used arrangements that were already made. So I don't know who did the arranging, but whoever did the arranging did a beautiful job with the pizzicato. It was like these like waves of like, They also did the like bowed as well, but they had parts where it was all pizzicato, and it just felt like it really brought the ocean out even more. So nice. They played Creep, and except for Creep, all of the songs they played very faithfully, like exact same structure, right? Every single verse, everything in its right place. But with Creep, they like truncated it. I guess maybe Creep is really long or something. So it kind of built like really quickly, and but it was nice. It was nice. And then How to Disappear Completely was really beautiful. I'm glad they did that. When they did the they had, which is already strings in the original, but they had the cello, I think, and the second violin doing those in unison. And it was just, and they did it a lot throughout the set. It was a lot of that unison kind of like bending, scooping strings. It was so pretty. They did All I Need. Oh yeah. That one, it took me a second to figure out which one it was. It wasn't like obvious. They did Let Down, which is really nice. They did Motion Picture Soundtrack, and then they ended it with Paranoid Android. And then they did an encore, which was Street Spirit Fade Out. So very clearly they love OK Computer a lot. And I would say they also, sorry, I have all the windows open because it's such a pretty day, but it is kind of loud here by the street. So Burn the Witch is the only one from A Moon-Shaped Pool. Creep was the only one from Pablo Honey. Couple from Kid A. Or a few, actually, right? A few from Kid A. And then I think the rest are from... Oh, right. Weird Fishes is from In Rainbows. And All I Need as well. Yeah. Nothing. I was kind of hoping they'd play Pyramid Song, honestly. It's already got such great strings, but yeah. So Awry, is that how you say it? Says Moon-Shaped Pool is their most gentle record, in my opinion. I love A Moon-Shaped Pool. I remember listening to it for the first time and then thinking that was good, but then I like kind of put it away. And then a few months later, I was like, oh yeah, that was good. And then I put it back on and listened to it like non-stop for months. And it's definitely my top 3. And I learned that it's a deeply sad record. Like they were going through a lot of loss at the time when they were recording it. Death, divorce. And I think that really comes through. I love it. It's so beautiful. Hey, to those of you just joining, I just wanted to say hi. I wanted to come on and say hi to everybody. I've been kind of hiding in my editing hole, feeling very stuck with the editing. I told my patrons recently that I think for this month I'd like to try a little bit more of a kind of real-time analysis approach, because the editing is really kind of, it's just really bringing me down, to be honest. And I'm really, it feels like it's draining the life force out of me. We don't want that. I don't want to burn out, and I want my videos to be good, and so I'm going to try some more real-time kind of reaction analysis. It won't really be a reaction because it's going to be songs that I already know really well, but I guess you can still react to things you know well, but not like a first-time reaction, but kind of like going through the song, like stopping it, starting it, talking about it. So I'm hoping that will relieve some of the pressure and allow us to continue to connect over music. K-Dog, we indeed do not want that. Yeah, right. I don't know if you're making a Nine Inch Nails pun there, but that's how I took it. It's like a do not want this pun. Simon asked, Dead Can Dance analysis when? Well, actually, join my Patreon. There is a whole Dead Can Dance listening party. And Peter, what was the album? Peter suggested it, or Sarcast. It was great. That was really, really awesome. Okay, so, and oh yes, and if those of you joined while we were listening to those strings, that was a audio recording, just had the phone sitting on my lap at a string quintet tribute to Radiohead last night. It was really awesome. Yeah. Okay, so y'all are talking about Specter, which is the rejected James Bond. Okay, I have heard Specter, but I'm kind of blanking on what it sounds like at the moment. So we're going to listen to it, and hopefully the stream won't get blocked. I never know these days. It's such a bummer, But it is what it is. Okay. When I thought of Specter, the song that popped in my head was is the title The Amazing Sounds of Orgy? Sounds of Orgy? Yeah, The Amazing Sounds of Orgy. That's the song that popped in my head. I know it's not that, but that's also a great deep cut. All right. Okay, yes, I recognize this album artwork. I just can't picture or audiate it in my mind's ear. Okay. Here we go. Okay, Specter by Radiohead. Ooh, I wonder if that was just like too good. You know? like 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 maybe it had just too, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's so incredible. Especially that the sort of gentle, like sort of being rocked by like Tom's falsetto, really kind of sweet, innocent melody. And then he goes to his chest voice, come for me, and everything swells around him. And then it hits you with this like exotic kind of pained, strained climax, which has strings and horns. I love that part. So yes, I have heard this. I wouldn't say I know it by like heart, the way I know a lot of other things, but that's gorgeous. Well, this can be like a little lesson. If you like the sound of that like chorus climax, part of that is the scale, which is Mixolydian flat 6. And Mixolydian flat 6 is like major on the bottom, minor on the top. It's used a lot in Nine Inch Nails music. And you guys remember that song by Alanis Morissette, Uninvited? I feel like it was in the a soundtrack. City of Angels soundtrack, maybe? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong movie. But it sounds especially good with strings. Let's see. Can I add this screen? Okay, I'm going to try something real quick. It might be weird. Window capture. I'm trying to show you a program that shows the keys that I'm playing. Okay, something's changed here. Is it this? Nope. Okay. Media source? No. Okay. Strings are so good at doing that kind of thing. They can sound so voice-like. Where's the... I'm so confused. Okay, I can't figure this out. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. We're going to do overhead camera because that I have figured out. There we go. Okay. Kates and B. Oh, sorry. There we go. See, it starts out all majory. Okay, yeah. Like that. But then the top half is minor. So. Can you hear that? The strings. And then it went. Or something like that. And that sounds so much like Nine Inch Nails Gone Still, which is also in the same scale. So if you don't play keys, if you do play keys, if you think about things with half steps and whole steps, this would be you go up a whole step, and you go up another whole step, then a half, and then a whole. And that's like major. Whole, half, whole. And you go up a half step, a whole step, and a whole step. So what is that? Whole, half, whole, half, whole. And this would apply to frets too, right? So you could figure out the scale that way. So maybe that's the best way to disseminate that information. Or B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G, A, B. See, when you get to the A, it really seems like something's off, right? Up. Right there. Love, love, love. So pretty. Anyway, it's a really neat scale. It's not the kind of scale you normally would like stumble across by accident, unless you're Trent Reznor. Or or Radiohead. I don't know. I didn't know about the scale, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I feel like it's kind of more on the rare side, at least for Westerners. So it's so cool. Yeah. Alex says that Specter was rejected for being too dark. I mean, it's definitely, that first part especially sounds pretty deeply sad to me. So I could see how it kind of bring the energy down a bit. But then that swell, is so powerful because of that. But maybe it just wasn't the right fit. But oh well. Amazing. You know what? I'd like to share a song with y'all that I heard yesterday. I was reading up on Tom York, and I found out he's got 2 kids. And his son, Noah, is 22 and releasing music. And it looks like he's a guitarist and a singer. And I listened to 2 of his tracks and loved them both. And I just really want to play y'all this one. So his name is Noah York. And the first song I listened to was Trying Too Hard, parentheses, lullaby. If at first you're not interested, just give it a minute. Beautiful sense of harmony. I love his voice. I'm going to play the next one too. It's called It's Been a Long Time. It's pretty different. Yeah. So anyway, I'm interested to listen. He's got some other stuff. He has looks like he has singles so far. I'm not sure. There's our EP here. And he's done some collaborations. Anyway, I'm gonna listen to everything because I just really like what I'm hearing. I feel like, I mean, he's certainly got talent. He's put in the work, and he's so young, and it's just like really exciting. It just feels like, I don't know. And I read a quote. Tom was being interviewed recently, and they were asking him about fatherhood or his children or something, and he said something like, it's just amazing to think that I had anything to do with these amazing people, you know, like, and he's really proud of them. And yeah, so I don't know if his daughter's a musician or not. I couldn't find as much information about her. Maybe she's more private, but yeah. And some of you said, you know, it's going to be hard to sort of like get away from the comparisons to his dad. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I think that's going to happen. It's kind of inevitable, you know, and the quality of your voice is not something you really can control. I mean, you can control the tone, you're right. You can control the style, but there's like a fundamental way that your voice sounds reverberating through your larynx and your throat and your chest and your nasal cavities and your skull and everything, your mouth, that you just is anatomy. You know, I sound so much like my mom too. Not exactly like her, just like he doesn't sound exactly like Tom, but you know, and also my musical style does sound a lot like my mom's, and I think it's just natural, you know. It's what you grow up hearing all the time. It just feels right. It's like that's the stuff that just comes to you when you're improvising and messing around, you know, the stuff that you grew up with. So but I do think his voice does sound different. I think at times he can sound so much like him, but other times, I think someone said he has a little more soul in his delivery, and I would say yes, is a little bit more, has a different kind of release in his notes. And I loved it when he belted. He sounded really different. He sounded, you know, like, anyway. That was just a cool little rabbit hole I went down yesterday, getting ready for that quintet concert. Yes. Okay, someone had a question about Jeff Buckley, I thought. Scroll back a bit. Well, someone asked me something about Jeff Buckley. Maybe like, have I identity Jeff? Oh, here we go. Steve, if I ever analyzed Jeff Buckley's Lover, you should have come over. No, I'm not sure I've heard that one. I was recommended something, let's see. Something about a brother. Is that right? Dream Brother. I've been listening to that one on repeat. It's really, really gorgeous. But I'm not super familiar with his work otherwise. Yes, I should. There's so many things to listen to. Oof. It got warm in here. Excuse me. All right. Turn the fan on. Yeah, I will check it out when I can. No timeline on that, promise. Just that I will. And then some folks were saying Bjork and Trent would be an interesting pair. Bjork and 9 Inch Nails. Yeah, it's kind of surprising they haven't done anything in some ways. Bjork. I'm sorry, it's Bjork. Like jerk. That's her joke, not mine. Yeah. Cool. So I'm gonna stay for another 20 minutes, and I'm gonna say goodbye. I have to get back to editing Paranoid Android video. Right now it's an hour 15 minutes long, so I'm trying to get it down to under an hour. Then again, anyone who's gonna watch a video about Paranoid Android's probably prepared for a long one, I would think. What's the other thing I wanted to listen to? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing a game sometime this month. One of my patrons volunteered to help me. He's gonna pick a bunch of 9 Inch Nails songs and then only play me like the first 5 seconds and then going down to like the first like 1 second of the song, and I have to guess. I think it'll be okay until it gets to like Ghosts, and then I think it's going to be tough, but I might be surprised. It might be harder than I realize. I don't know, but I thought that'd be fun. Andre, I was born ready for 1 hour plus on Paranoid Android. Yeah. I mean, I even thought about splitting it into 3 videos because it is like 3 songs, but I'm just going to do one big video. It's like a feature length film. But that song is so amazing. And it's amazing to think that it was chosen as a single. And it did really well on the radio. I just love that because it's like not, very radio friendly. And yet people just got it. It was just so good. They just got it, you know? That's great. Clores, I thought you wanted us to guess, so I didn't volunteer. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be the one guessing. Moss Shark, play a song, Ixie. You mean like on the piano? I wrote a little waltz. It's like really harmless and really cute and sweet. It is in a minor key though, but it's still like a very... I think it was inspired for sure by Amelie Jan Tiersen. And it's not really a whole song yet, I guess. It's more just like a loop of something. Just a little one. I can play that one. I had to practice a little bit. Okay, and then okay. I always forget how incredibly hard it is to perform. Because the heart starts pumping and then you start breathing shallowly and then things just don't work quite right. And it's like, oh, this little ditty I've been playing forever is suddenly so hard. You know, that's not hard. I bet you a lot of you could play that. Maybe I should do a little tutorial. It'd be a nice way to learn like hand independence, kind of like a consistent thing on the left hand, and just that pattern of like a waltz, like papa, papa. Also teach you how to do like one finger and then two at a time, which is a great way to like break up a chord. I don't know. Lair understands what I'm talking about. I mean, anyone's performed knows, right? It's just like... And even though I trust you all so much, I still get nervous because it's just like automatic. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm performing. You know what I can play you? I mean, I can't play it. Okay, so we're talking about Radiohead. So I came up with this idea when I found a sound from Spitfire Audio. It's like a sample, basically, of a cymbalom, which is, now I also kind of forget what that looks like. Cymbalom. Okay, it looks like a table with strings and hammers. Okay. And I started improvising with that, and then I found like a synth, and then suddenly I was like, this sounds like a Radiohead song. Okay, I'm gonna play it for you guys. and I came up with like a vocal kind of, but then I've muted it because it sounds too much like something else I wrote once. I'm like, it's so easy to plagiarize yourself without even realizing it, at least at first. And you're like, wait. Okay. All right, here's my like Radiohead type beat. That's the cymbalom, is the one that's going da 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 with some wacky kind of delay on it. What was the delay? It's called Dirty Buckets by Valhalla Delay, and it just can I hear it going out of tune slowly, right? A little bit down. Almost feels like, like an ambulance that goes by, right? And the pitch changes. It feels kind of like that. And then here's the vocal though. So I need to like fix it or change it or something, but I've really admired this one artist for a while called The Acid. Anybody familiar? He does this technique a lot, and I've been like sort of dreaming about trying it on my voice for years. And it's like you double your vocal track and then you pitch it down like an octave. So it's not a harmony for one, because it's the same note, just lower. And it's also not like a backing vocal. It's just like the exact same vocal duplicated lower. So it creates this sort of like otherworldly sound, and it sounds to like one unit because everything's exactly the same. Okay, and then I put like what did I put on it? I put like a tremolo or something. Let's see if I kept the tremolo. Write something down, something down. Write something down, something down. Write something down, something down. A loud tune at the end there. But this is how it would sound if it was like in a song. Hang on. Da, 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 da. I feel about it, but it was fun to play with that effect, and I want to keep playing with it because doesn't that sound cool? And the Acid song I'm talking about is called, well, he does it a lot, but the one in particular is Veda. I think it's called Veda. You can hear it almost right away, I think. No, never mind. Hang on. Momentary overcame. Oh, my blood, love is stained. I'm falling. I think he even changed the pitch, because that's the other thing is you can mess around. Like you can also like on auto-tune your vocals. Not auto-tune. You can pitch shift your vocals, right? You can, and you can like change the notes to be whatever you wanted, which I think can sound really cool. Does James Blake do it too? I don't think so. I think he just... Sometimes James Blake sounds like he accesses like overtones in his voice. I don't know. He's a really interesting voice. I love it. JTVJ sung lower. Yeah, you can sing in octaves too. I mean, I wouldn't be able to sing that though. So this pitch shifting technique also allows me to have like a really low harmony and have it be me. But also it just sounds weird, right? I mean, like, because you've got this formant. Let's see. Listen to the sound. Something down, something down. Sorry. Write something down, something down. Trying to find the low part, and I mislabeled it clearly. Hang on. What about this one? Write something down, something down. Right? Doesn't that just sound like a menacing, strange beast? I don't know. That's just really, really neat. And you can shift the formant somehow. And like there's formant shifters so that it doesn't sound so like brr, brr, brr. So it sounds more like a normal voice. And but I kind of like how that sounds. I kind of like that like brr sound. It's fun for someone like me, like a woman, to be like la la la. Kai asks what DAW I use. I used Logic now, but I used Reason my whole life. My whole life since I was born. No. I mean, once I started using actual DAW, I used like looping software before that. Like Techno EJ was my first anything like that, and then Acid Pro, and then Reason. So for like 20 years I used Reason, and then the last 2 or 3 years I've started to use Logic. So I'm still kind of figuring out Logic, but I did just get Reason Plus, which allows me to use Reason inside of Logic, which is kind of the best, because then I can use all the dope synths that I love in Reason without the kind of confusing interface of Reason. Like I don't love the arranger or the where you sequence your tracks, and it's just not. And the mixer is also, I think, more intuitive in Logic, so it's nice to do. Alex says, do you do what I do when writing songs, which is to record one verse, then abandon the track completely? Yes. Yes. Yeah. I used to not be like that. When I was younger, I could just bang out a song because I didn't have any self-doubt. Well, I mean, not any, but it wasn't enough to get in the way at all. I was just enjoying myself. I was young, And now I just second guess everything, or my standards are a lot higher than they were when I was a teenager. So that's another sort of barrier, is like, it's not good enough. And so it's hard finishing things nowadays. I have to have a reason to finish something, or I'll just let it languish. Which is really, I was just talking to my friend about this today. If you have lots of ideas, which is great, it's so much fun to start them and then leave them. But if I never finish anything, it's kind of demoralizing. Like it starts to eat away at me. So I have to finish some things to feel like I'm moving forward, or to feel like satisfied, I guess. And then of course the bonus is I can share it with people. So I'd like to finish something this year. I won't say what it is. I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't want to overpromise, but yeah, I want to release some things. Jason says Fever Ray has some interesting vocals. Have you heard of Hania Rani? Maybe. Sounds sort of familiar. Is that Fever Ray? Or it sounds like Fever Ray? Or Fever Ray likes those harmonies, by the way, that I was doing. I was doing parallel fifths with my voice. That's a big sound for her. It's like iconic. Like sounds like y'all can relate to being younger and being more carefree. Dan has a good point. I almost never make music unless I have a live show coming up and I have to write a set. Yeah, having external accountability is really, really smart. Yeah. Clores also brings up good points, something I've been thinking about too. I find I improve if I finish a thing straight through badly, then come back to it and redo it. But that's writing software. It might be a bit. I don't think. Well, I think what I was going to take away from what you said is that I'm going to attempt to, when I have that initial excitement for an idea and I start working on it, it doesn't feel anything like the stage I'm in now with this, which is sort of like, it's cool, but I don't know. You know, you're sort of like, kind of get stuck and you start overthinking things and you don't have that initial like, oh my God, creative spark. I used to finish things during that brief like 3-day window of the creative spark when I was younger. I I had more time. I had no responsibilities. That's part of it. But I would just like write it and finish it kind of in one go. And now I like stop and walk away and come back and walk away. And after a while, it just loses its spark. And then the motivation to finish becomes a much more mature motivation. And I'm having trouble with that. I think I'm more used to finishing things when I have that first motivation. So that's my plan, is like the next time I start something is to be like, all right, I'm not going to start this unless I have 5 hours straight where I can just finish it and not overthink anything, right? It might mean, because like this came out pretty quickly because I was like, I'm using this cymbal on. That sounds cool. And then I found the synth and I was like, that sounds cool. And then I put in some cool swirly stuff. And then I laid the piano down and the bass. And I wasn't thinking, like it was just sort of all intuitive. And I laid the vocals down and then I was like, okay. And then I stopped and then that's it. But I didn't overthink any of the choices I made. And that was really freeing. And I was like, that's where the magic is. When the inner critic is out to lunch. The inner critic can be very helpful, I think, later on in the process, but not in that first part where you're trying to just like get the idea to materialize. I think it's very disruptive. Does anyone relate to that? JTVJ, it was recently inspired by very minimal dulcimer folk music. Made me think of writing in a different way. That's very cool. Yeah, listening to different music is very inspiring. Stuff that you've never really heard of or incorporated into your own music can really give you some good ideas. I feel that way about new sounds, honestly. Like when I buy like a new VST or something and I'm like just checking out, especially with like great presets that can really inspire you and be like, wow, this sounds so cool. And then just kind of go off on a tangent with it. Hey, Tony. Find the snare sound after your track's laid down. That's so dangerous. What do you mean? Like, the Grape Ape asks, have you heard Sleep Token yet? Is that... No, I'm thinking of Team Sleep. That's Chino Moreno. Sleep Token. I don't know. Sounds familiar, but I don't recognize any of this artwork or the song title, so I'm going to go with no. What's it like? I'm just reading. Nathan Blair says, what I do now is record the bones of the song pretty much, then add sounds and mix it after. Usually the hardest part is recording guitar, piano, or vocals because those are the easiest to screw up. Good point. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, to like lay down the basic skeleton and then go back in and add flesh and bone to it, or flesh. Yeah, I think I'm more like all of it all at once going this way. I mean, not completely. It's not totally linear, but it would be hard for me to do just the structure first when I have all the ideas for the meat right now. I'm very impulsive, I guess. That's the problem. Not very disciplined when it comes to my creativity. Bluefoot asks, any plans to come to the UK? I don't have plans to come to the UK. I mean, I don't like tour or anything. I do travel though for fun, but no, not UK anytime soon. I've been once. I was really young though. It's been a while. I'm very motivated by hiking. That's usually where I go anywhere. So you can sell me on some epic hikes, maybe next year. Everyone's talking about how snares rule their life. Yeah, I do find music writing is much simpler for me when I don't involve drums. For sure. Everything's simpler. Mixing is way easier. But, yeah. The Grape Ape describes Sleep Token as very Deftones, Tool, Nine Inch Nails, Breaking Benjamin, Coldplay vibes. Interesting. Yeah, check it out when I can. For those of you that don't know, we do listening parties on my Patreon. That is like the time that I listen to new music pretty much. And also sometimes when I'm in the car, but also I like to listen to my favorites in the car. Have I listened to Skinned? Asks, is it Gian? No, I don't think so. Skinned. Hey, Matt. Hey, my kid took my iPad and chose to watch you like father, like son. That's so sweet. Hello, Matt's kid. Beguile's gonna go make some stuff. Awesome. I love that. All right, friends. I'm gonna say goodbye. It was so nice to hang out with you. I appreciate you giving me space and patience, or having patience. Sorry, my brain's just mush. I just gotta make some changes, so that the editing doesn't destroy my brain. And we will try more of a Key of Jeeves format. Do you guys watch Key of Jeeves? Speaking of Key of Jeeves and I, we're going to make a video together. We did he kind of interviewed me, but then we were going to do a dual reaction for the same song, and I'm going to pick it. So we should schedule that. I think that should be really fun. Yeah. Alex, when do we get Paranoid Android? When it's done. I'm working on it as much as I can. All right. May the force of Tom York be with you, says Deepak. Yes, and always with you. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend, y'all. I'll see you when I can. Farewell.